Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 premium SPG that we've come to know and love as Fifi La Pew Pew, but other people know it as a leFhy or a leaf blower. This one is on the south spawn of Abbey, and it's under the command of Targy. Now he sent this replay in, and it's part of a 2 replay video, because we've noticed that since the changes in 1.13, certain Arties are performing much better than they did before, which is quite unusual. And the reason that the 105 leFH18B2 is performing better is because it has no stun. It has the same shells it has when it was sold, the HE, the heat and the armor piercing rounds. And of course, because it's a premium Arty, it's actually very difficult for wargaming to alter its parameters in any way without coming or falling foul of the Trade Descriptions Act, or acts which say that they are not allowed to sell something which they then later change, because after all that would be, shall we say, misdescription. They would be falsely describing something as having certain characteristics, and if they then change those characteristics, then it would be perfectly acceptable for the person to sue wargaming because they've falsely described something. Well, Targy's gone on to a very unusual firing position, and I think he's actually going to fire at the centre of the map to start with. First shot is a bit of a snapshot on a Covenanter. Let's see if he dials in on him. Rounds out. Ah, he got a hit that time. Definitely got a hit. But he's actually switched targets now. He's going to go for this Panzer T25. I think he's outside range though, Targy. When you get a grey line, that means he's outside your maximum range. Okay, he's gone back to the Covenanter. He's lining up his shots. Rounds out. Another direct hit. Now you can see Targy's got a reload time of 7.01 seconds. The actual reload time, book reload time, is 8.58 now, or is that 8.90? 8.90 I think it is. My eyesight's very poor and I'm reading, yeah, 8.92 actually. So it has changed, well, on the reload time I think, but the damage overall has not. It's currently generating 410 alpha of 53mm of penetration with the HE rounds, and with the heat rounds it'll go up to 104mm and only do 350 alpha. Rounds out in the T1, direct hit 162. Goes for it again, rounds out, another direct hit 179 this time. Rounds out, another hit. All of these hits are non-penetrating shots. You can tell that because they're about half the alpha damage. If he did pen, and that was still a direct hit, if he did pen, he would get a much higher score. Because of course then it would be 410 plus or minus 25%. So if it's about half the damage, that was a non-penetrating shot. That one hit the ground, that last shot just hit the ground, did no damage. He's switching targets again. He can't go after that Covenanter, but he can certainly try and hit this Type T34. Oh, that was a bit of a waste, that one. He shouldn't have fired, but I think he might have done that one by error. The Covenanter's well on the move, so he'd have to lead that target. Oh, he stopped. But we can see Targy switching around, trying to find target. He's found the T1 Heavy again. He has been spotted this time. But he's getting a red line there. He needs the guy to back up. Rounds out. This could be a kill. Oh, no. He hit the tracks. And the T1 is down. Now he can go after this OI, but he's got a red line. Okay, rounds out. Gets a hit. 85. Yes, if you notice there's a red line extending to the target, you know there's some obstruction in the way blocking the shot. If it's green, you can hit it. If it's grey, you're outside maximum range. Okay, he lines up the shot again. Well, that was lucky because he was getting a partial red line there, but I think that's because one of the peaks of the hills actually blocked the shot, and you see every time he's aiming, it turns red or green depending on whether there's a clear shot or not. Okay, he has got the mountains blocking that shot on the Chaffee, and that's why it's gone red. The score is fairly even at the moment. It might be a good idea for targy to pull back and I'd say go to the red line somewhere in the K row, because where he is at the moment actually blocking some of the shots that he would like to take. He can take that one on the OI. That's out. A direct hit, 150. He goes for him again. Oh, red line now. Oh, he's managed to sneak in a shot that hit the turret of the OI experimental. But he's now got a red line again, so no shot. I have the feeling that Covenanter that we saw earlier, who's near our cap, is not actually at the cap. I think he... Oh, and he got a direct hit on the OI. I think that Covenanter is actually looking around for targets. He's not capping. I also saw an Arty shot which looked like it was heading towards targy, so he might need to consider moving soon. Well, the Covenant has been seen, but he's not near the cap, and I think this firing position is a little risky because it's actually blocking some of the shots that he might want to take on enemy tanks. It's also on a downslope, which means it reduces the elevation you can get, and that decreases the range that you can actually fire over. Okay, he's looking for enemy tanks coming around that corner, but even though he's got the highest view range of any Arty, 390 meters, I think the enemy tanks are too far away for him to get a shot. There's one of them, the Covenanter. He's being spotted by the VK3001H. He might be able to get a shot on that Type T-34 moving towards the cap. There's the Covenanter. Okay, go for it. Rounds out and... Oh, kill shot! Now, I think that penetrated the Covenanter's engine deck, and that's why he blew him up completely. The Chaffee's turned up. Rounds out on him. Oh, another kill! And that was definitely a penetrating shot because it was 231, which was all the hit points he had left. And it looked like it went through the engine deck anyway. Goes for the Type T-34. That's a non-penetrating shot to hit the tracks, but he has gone. Now, they started off with reduced numbers. There was only 10 players on each side, and now we're 2 up on the enemy. There's only 3 enemy tanks left. This is one of them, the OI. Now, he's hit that guy quite a few times. Rounds out. Another hit. Just keep pumping those shells in until he expires. Rounds out. Oh, now that shell probably hit the mountaintop or the obstruction. But that one hit the tank. Needs another 2 or 3 like that. No, that one didn't pen. He's now burning up the heat rounds because he did load a lot of heat. And heat rounds do have to definitely hit the target in order to do damage. No, these rounds are actually hitting the cliff top, which is why he's not getting the damage he wants to get and needs to get. Yet that round, I think, hit the tracks. Rounds out. Again, he's not getting penetrating shots now, and I think that's because he's firing heat. And heat rounds are very expensive, so this is going to certainly cost him in terms of credits at the end of the game. Well, there's only 2 enemies left, an M10 RBFM and an M41 HMC. The good news is that targy does have 20% of the enemy hit pool now. Though whether or not he's got the high caliber, we'll have to see at the end of the game. He does need to keep his damage rate up, otherwise his teammates might surpass his total. He might want to move from that spot though, because he might find it difficult to get shots on some of the enemy tanks if they're obstructed or hiding behind rock faces. Yes, we need these pair of Churchills to get a move on. And the M10's been found. He's actually over the other side of the cap area. And, well, I think that, yes, targy suddenly realised he's too far away to get accurate shots. But the RBFM has been killed. The only problem is that he also killed the 3001H at the same time. So I think they both killed each other, eye for an eye, and that leaves just one enemy remaining, the M41 HMC, and he doesn't appear to be in the cap area because he didn't get found by he wasn't found by the VK3001H. A lot of the players in this game were bots. You can tell that because under the names they've got a colon before or after, and in fact actually of the remaining tanks, 2 of them are bots, the T1 Heavy and the Churchill 1, and the last enemy, the M41 HMC, was killed by the Churchill 1. And here's the second replay, and we've got Jonas Sadauskas on the northeast spawn of Glacier, and the game is underway. Well, Jonas is headed off into the trees near the cap area. Now, as many of you have seen, I choose to use a variety of different firing positions for Arty from this map on this particular spawn, and he's chosen to go into the crowds, into the bushes near the cap area. Okay, first target is the Super Chappy. Oh, he pulled away. Okay. Now, I can understand why some people are pulling away because they are moving after firing. Fires another round at the Super Chappy, doesn't get a hit. Now I'm trying to zoom out now so that we can get a better view of what's actually going on the battlefield. He fires a round at the T1 Heavy, and he did get a direct hit there. Switching over to the strip. He hasn't moved position yet though. Rounds out, that looks good. Yes, direct hit. You can see they hit him on the turret there. Fires another round out, and he moves after he shoots, so we don't actually get to see where the shot's going. So I'll have to take control of the camera. Oh, that was a penetrating shot in the turret. 390. Okay, round out again. This should... Oh, missed. And the strip's gone. Let's have a look and see where he's aiming now. It's the P43. Oh, I hear a rumble. So maybe the Arty are firing. Yes, he's been hit by one of the enemy Arty. He didn't move enough, and as a consequence, he's taken some damage. Yep, when you hear that rumbling noise, it means Arty has fired, and it may be an inbound shell. Rounds out the P43, and oh, another penetrating shot for 513. Okay, that M41 won't be firing for another couple of seconds, but he is in reload. It's fairly obvious that the enemy M41 is trying to counter battery, so he needs to be careful and move after every shot until they stop firing at him. Sorry you're not getting a very good view at the moment. It's because he's whizzing all over the battlefield looking for targets. And as he's doing that, it's very difficult for me to control the camera so we can get a good view. Yeah, all I would say to players is that try not to look too closely at the target, because otherwise then it's difficult for us to view. That's the sort of view we should have, really, ideally, if you're going to make a good video. I'm having to pull back out and use free camera in order for me to see what's going on. Oh, we've got a T-34 shielded. Made his way here, and that shot went off to one side. I think he deliberately aimed actually to one side. May have been a reflex. Rounds out. That hit. That was a direct hit for 136. Go for the next one. Rounds out. Direct hit wipes him out. So he's got his first kill. Now he has racked up a lot of damage so far. 1,410 hit points. And most of it's down to the fact that he did have a couple of penetrating shots. Now we are hearing Arty rounds whistling through the air, and it could be that they've spotted the Valiant nearby near our cap area. Again, I'm sorry, he's all over the place on his camera, and it's making it very difficult for me to record this video. You know, if he keeps doing this, I'll have to say, I'm sorry, Jonas, but we're not going to be doing your videos in future because you're not giving us something we can actually record. Rounds out the KB2. Direct hit. Rounds out again. Looks like that guy's disconnected. And there he dies. So second kill for Jonas. Okay, he's found a Nashorn. And an IKV. I'll go for the IKV. It's thinner armor. Much more likely to get a kill shot off that guy. He didn't get a direct hit though. Try and get a direct hit. Fires another round in. Looks to one side, so we didn't get to see what happened. Tried a blind shot there. His team are doing well at the moment because they're 4 tanks up on the enemy. But the enemy is rather close to the cap area, which is making life difficult for Jonas because he's having to look at the ring road in order to stop the enemy tanks when they arrive. That was a Valiant. We barely saw him for a few seconds, but unmistakable turret. And he's trying to push his way past that T-34 shielded. There he is. Direct hit this time. And a good hit at that. Try again. Rounds out. Direct hit right on the driver's port as well. I wouldn't be surprised that took down the driver. Okay, he's gone. There's still more enemies there. Okay, we've got an AMD-178B now. It's a tier 6 game with tier 5 tanks in it. Now we're looking over at the enemy cap area at the moment. In fact, their Arties have been spotted. So now he can go after the very Arty who tried to hit him earlier. The M41 HMC who's trying to escape. Oh, he's got a grey line as well, which means he would have difficulty trying to hit that target. In fact, he started moving independently. And he suddenly realised that there's an AMD nearby. So he tries to get a snapshot in. Didn't work. I'd go for that Nashorn. Yes, he's doing that. Trying to lead the target. Rounds out. Sorry, I have to take control of the camera because he looks away so quickly. It's very difficult to get a shot of him actually hitting the target. Because by the time he's fired, he's already looking somewhere else. Okay, trying to go for the AMD. This time round he does get a hit and also potentially 20% of the enemy hit pool. So he might have a high caliber. The last enemy is their VP, their 105 leFH, and he just gets wiped out by the T67. So, game over. Let's have a look at the end of battle results for both games. In the first battle with Targy, he managed to get a first class tanker in his VP. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9. And he did end up with the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. His win rate from that gap battle was 6,139, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see there were only 4 real players in the entire game. Yes, 10 players each side, but only 4 of them were actually real people. And of course, Targy was the best scorer of all of them. He managed to get 2,548 hit points. The next high scorer being the M10 RBFM with 1,547. And the third highest was the VK3001H with 1,280. When it came to kills, it was the M10 RBFM on the enemy team, managed to get 4 kills. That is rather an OP tank destroyer. 3 kills went to the VK3001H and 2 kills went to targy. And when it came to base XP, it was targy at top with 900 and I think that's 980. Just check that. Yes, it is 980. 756 went to the VK3001H and then 640 went to, or 648 went to the M10 RBFM. He fired 36 rounds in that game, got 19 direct hits and 1 penetration, 21 splash. Damage of 2,548 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Now, just quick check to find out which one did he pen. Did he pen the Chaffee? Yes, it was the Chaffee, not the Covenanter, although he did produce a good hit that took the guy out of the game because it hit the engine deck. Actually, the guy was fairly weak already. The Chaffee, though, when he hit it with that round, it did go through and definitely penetrated the guy, took him out of the game. So he actually damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 2, did 142 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 54,252 credits, and after a resupply of ammunition and consumables, took away a profit of 10,284 credits, 1,470 XP, times 2 for the first victory, 2,940 for completing a mission, and 588 for being a premium vehicle, took away 6,468 experience points altogether. So quite a good game in terms of credits, although as you saw here, he did fire a lot of premium ammo towards the end of the game, and my suggestion to him would be to load more HE rounds, not so much heat, because heat only works if you can actually pen the enemy vehicle. If they're at the wrong angle to you, or you can't get an adequate hit, then you might be wasting a heat round because it'll just harmlessly bounce off the vehicle without doing any damage. So let's have a look at the second battle. And as we saw, that was the one that was being played by Jonas Sadauskas, or Sadauskas, or Jonas, we'll just call him, on the Glacier map. And he got his second mark of excellence in that game, as well as a second class tanker and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 9. Now, if we look at the team score, we can see that, yes, he did do the highest damage on his team, but not the highest damage in the game. The Nashorn on the enemy team managed to get 2,087 hit points of damage. He picked up a high caliber. And we can see Jonas got 2,029. The next highest scorer being the T-37 with 1,379 hit points. When it came to kills, it was the T-67 who did the best with 5 kills. And then the AMX-12 ton and Jonas managed to get 3 kills apiece. And when it came to base XP, it was Jonas who did the best here with 889, 798 went to the T-67, 784 to the AMX-12 ton. Jonas fired 28 rounds in that game, got 10 direct hits and 3 penetration, 11 splash. Damage of 2,029 hit points, of which 1,456 were at more than 300 meters. He did receive 1 hit by way of splash damage from the enemy M41 HMC, who managed to work out where he was. Well, he didn't keep moving about. He fired from the same position all the time, and that's very dangerous now that tracers are so much easier to see. The enemy might be able to work out where you are if they see the tracer often enough coming from the same bush. So don't stay in the same bush. Move about a bit. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 3, did 450 hit points of damage assistance in that game. On a premium count, he earned 32,360 credits, got 24,270 from personal reserves, a total of 72,810 credits altogether. And after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, and you can see he was firing only HE because his ammo costs are relatively low, he made a healthy profit of 45,500, and I think is that 68? Yes, it is 68 credits. 889 XP. 934 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 1,868 experience points altogether. Now, the one thing I can say about both players is that don't look at your target too closely. I know it's all personal preference about how you do it, but if you want your video to be watched by others, then it has to be presented in such a way as you can actually see what's going on. And Jonas kept switching targets all over the battlefield, which meant that it was very difficult for the eye to follow what he was going on. And even though I tried to adjust the camera to pull it out a lot more so that we could see where he was looking at, it just didn't want to come out. Now, that might be a fault of the current update of the client, or it might be a fault of the fact that Jonas is looking too closely at the target, and therefore he can't really see what's going on, and we can't see what he's seeing so easily. So that's the only things I would say, but on top of that, I would say that Jonas is also exhibiting the same thing that we saw earlier in the other replay with Tank and Tonic. He managed to get his second mark of excellence in that game, and we're seeing a lot of players who are able to suddenly get marks of excellence where they've been struggling before, and that may be down to the fact that so many players are playing Arty and playing it badly because they're not used to Arty, and they're using the wrong rounds, and as a consequence they're not getting very good scores, and it means that the good players like Jonas and targy and Tank and Tonic are getting much better results as a result, and they're getting high MOEs and breaking marks. So yeah, we will keep following this. There will be another video coming up shortly, and we'll have a look at that one, and we'll see if we are still exhibiting these strange results from the changes. If you enjoyed this replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm.
Just do it!
And thank you for watching.